show is called Conversation with the CEO. It's another edition of Conversation with the CEO. First of all, make sure you share and like. Don't forget, we also have our Spotify podcast that we are a part of this as well. So whether you're listening to us on Spotify or any podcast period, or YouTube, wherever you're listening to us, thank you so much. Make sure you share, like. You can reach out to us. You can always go to our website, thelinchpinbunch.com. Be sure to go there. We're doing something super special for everyone. Hey, yo, something's going on over at our website. You want to go check it out. I promise you. Head to thelinchpinbunch.com. We're doing something extra special. What we're excited to offer you is called the Everybody versus Wall Street package. Yes, it's going to have a new version of our audiobook. It's also going to have a couple of videos. It's going to have information that we haven't shared, stuff that's important to investing that you're going to really, really appreciate. Here's what's cool about it. You get to pick your own price. You get to tell us what you want to pay for it, okay? Whatever you give us, we're going to give you access to it, all right? That's what we want to do. We want to sow into your life. We want to change your life. We want to make a difference here, okay? So we're excited. You're ready to start trading. You're ready to start investing. You're ready to start growing. So go ahead and take advantage of that right now. Pick your own price. Got another wonderful guest for Conversation with a CEO. I'm so excited to have him because I'm a big fan of just this whole world because it's so new to me, right? You keep hearing about it. You keep hearing about NFTs, you know, NBA NFT, NFTs in the music world. You got, you had the guy who was, I can't think of his name right now, but anyway, he's in an issue with Megan Thee Stallion, and he just did a music NFT, and he was excited that he made $1 million, just like that, off of the NFT world. So there's a company that we've been able to locate, and they're doing something super special when it comes to NFTs. And I want to really get into this with him because he probably knows a lot more about NFTs than I ever will know. His name is Drew Lightfoot. He's the co-founder, CEO of a company called NOWwhere. And NOWwhere is, I guess, looking like to me, they're going to help the artists, the creators, everyone who's trying to understand the NFT world and allow it to help them make a little bit of money or collect or create whatever it is. Here we are. Hey, Mr. Lightfoot, how you doing, man? And welcome to Conversation with a CEO.
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm excited, man. You're in the NFT world. People still don't understand what it is. So I'll tell you what I think I understand, and you help me walk me down, okay? Cryptocurrency is a strong thing, right? And blockchain plays a role in that. And it seems that the NFT is the artistic perspective of spending that money, that cryptocurrency, that the blockchain, and that connection on art. So that's what I kind of think it is,
and that's one use case, and that's one very exciting use case for it. But ultimately, an NFT is a deed, like a title of sale that says, "I own this and you don't," or a group of us own this, but it's that unique title. So yes, it applies to art in like music, film, but fashion. I think blockchain technology is going to disrupt so many industries across the board. Okay. I mean, it already is. It's disrupted finance in a major way.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't deny that.
Yeah, you can't.
So no, the art angle was one that I pursued out of curiosity. And I mean, that's really my background. Like I started as an animator and as a filmmaker. And so my whole career, I've been working with big teams of artists, and I've always supported my artist friends and hired them and worked with them all around the world. And yeah, the current landscape for artists, it's certainly not bleak, but with the onset of COVID, galleries closed, museums closed, the Web 2.0 model isn't favorable to artists. Like Instagram really only favors the upper echelon of artists. Okay. If you're an artist getting started, your work can just get lost in the algorithm. You may have 5,000 followers, but only 500 of those are going to see your work. Same with Spotify. You have to be multi-platinum at the top to really be earning any kind of living on Spotify, because it's this old advertising based model. So NFTs leveled the playing field in a really cool way. So
I like that.
that's what got me excited about it. And I mean, I'm still learning. It's I've been in this for a couple of years now, but it's changing so fast and in such cool ways. So what we're building with NOWwhere is really a platform to inspire curiosity. And like the whole concept right from the name is NOWwhere. Like, now where do I find something cool? Now where do I find something relevant? And so we're encouraging people to explore, and we're incentivizing them for exploring. So that's the whole beauty of
So
NFT.
Tell me,
go ahead.
So tell me this. So I'm brand new to NFT. Don't know much about it. I've been curious personally. So this is interesting. So how does someone like myself, how do we go to your website and explore NFT, and what should I be thinking? Walk me through it step by step so I know exactly what makes sense for me to do.
Well, I mean, we want to encourage people to find things that they like and follow artists that they like and become fans of those artists. So like we are early stage startup. Like right now we're going through an incubator called Launch Pool. We're going to launch within their community first. So Launch Pool started this program called Launch Pool Labs. They have 40,000 retail investors that invest in early stage crypto projects. So we're going through the program with them. It's been really cool thus far. Like, we're just in our first month of 3 with those guys. So we're really several months out from our like full release into the market, which you have to do. Like, I don't want to fall flat on our faces when we come out the door. So we're designing the system currently, but it's very much focused on the artist, and it's very much focused on easy onboarding, so they can come in without having to learn crypto and how it works. Same with the collector. Like, we're eliminating the friction between the crypto space and the real world, and kind of blending the two. And I think the most successful platforms, like if you look at Dapper Labs and what they've done with NBA Top Shots, are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, super successful.
And super easy. You can show up and go, hey, that's cool. I like that. What we're adding to that is, like, I said, Instagram and Spotify, like, I pointed out what doesn't work about them. What does work, at least from my perspective, is the recommendation algorithm. Like, I listen to a lot of music, and I love a lot of music that comes to me on Spotify. I don't love it all, but chances are there's a percentage of things that I'm going to think, oh, that's cool. I've never, who are these guys? I want to find out more about these guys. So we're using that model, because right now, like, you go to an art platform or an NFT platform, and it's just reams and reams and reams of artists. Like, who's this guy? I don't know who. It's just names. I don't know. Like, who are all these artists? I'm curious.
Do we focus, like, so when it comes to NFT, is the way an NFT being branded, is it being fair to what an NFT actually is? Because it seems like it comes off sometimes like, you can get an NFT today and maybe spend $1,000 on it. It could be worth $200,000 in a year or two. Is that what it really is? Is are we trying to collect that or not? I mean, what are we trying to understand about NFTs?
Just like any art form. I mean, if you look at contemporary art, you can collect it because you love it, or you can collect it as a commodity that you want to sell in the future. I mean, I collect art that I love, and I tend to hang on to it and keep it up on my walls. But no, I mean, it is also a commodity. But if you look at the same applies to NBA Top Shots. They're digital trading cards. Some people hold them, some people exchange them. So it's really like the collector's mindset as to how you want to,
Okay.
if you want to keep them or flip them or so forth. I don't know if I answered your question.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Question, what's your history in terms of, because you obviously care a lot about the artist and that side of it. What's your history and what you bring to the table as to gives you an advantage over everybody else when it comes to doing this startup here?
So I've been working in production, like film production, TV, since I was a teenager. So I started as a stop motion animator in Vancouver, Canada, moved to New Zealand, worked in the UK. I've kind of lived and worked all over the place, New York. From an animation standpoint initially, so TV shows, commercials. Then I got into feature films, worked on a couple of feature films as an animator. And then from there, I started kind of expanding. And I've always had this curiosity, this kind of itch I can't scratch. So like animation encompassed all the things that I loved. It was sculpture, photography, drawing. So I really pursued that sort of to the top of that space, and then started looking around and go, oh, there's this whole world of live action filmmaking that is so cool and so interesting. And then I kind of started as this hybrid live action animation director, again, doing music videos, films, TV shows, VR, and my kind of bread and butter was this production company or working with production companies all over the world making commercials. And so I've always been telling stories for these big brands and working with artists to do so. And now I see this opportunity to tell artist stories because to me it's much more interesting. And really to, again, like flip the table and give artists a chance at some serious income. Because again, going back to the traditional world, the gallery, obviously they have whatever foot track, but maybe they have a website. NFTs and blockchain, like it's a global community. So instead of 200 people walking by your storefront, you have millions of potential eyes to catch. And the whole royalty system of like the smart contract of an NFT, that's where it gets really cool. Because you can program, okay, I'm the sole creator. Maybe I'll share a little bit of a royalty, like 5-10% with the platform, but everything else comes back to me. If I'm a musician and I want to create with a visual artist, hey, let's team up and let's make an NFT. In that smart contract, you can program it so whatever 40% goes to one artist, 40% goes to the second artist, and that's every time it sells. Again, in the traditional world, I make a piece, I bring it to my dealer, he takes 50%.
Okay.
Every time it subsequently sells, so like every secondary sale, none of that goes back to the artist. That's just the collectors in their pockets. Here, the artist, it's like this baked in royalty that's in the smart contract. That to me is like
that's game changing. Yeah, that's absolutely game. And that what artists have been fighting for all these years. Now they finally get an opportunity.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So when it sounds easy like that, when it sounds like, oh, this is going to work on my behalf, what are some issues we could run into as artists trying to protect our NFT and our smart contracts? Because maybe some of these big businesses, they might, they might have had something in the legal documents that says, and potential possibilities. You get what I'm saying?
Sure. I mean, I guess it gets trickier when you are like a big artist and you're tied into a major network or like a major label that may have that kind of language. But for the most part, like this really is it's the new frontier. And I don't see it as competing with the traditional. I see this as like supplementary. So sure, I'm an artist. I can sell some albums traditionally. I mean, who buys albums? Maybe some people still buy records, but I see this as just like another income stream. It's like, I'm going to make some cool art that's not under the label, and I can sell it under my terms. That's where it's really cool.
And so it can be creative. You can do it a million ways. Like you can maybe like I can't think of his name for some reason, but he's in a legal battle with Megan Thee Stallion. He did his with a music release, and you could buy each for $1 until they were out, and he sold 1 million of them. So he made $1 million, and that was all his money. So, I mean, you can literally do stuff like that. I mean, what are some super creative ways to do NFTs? Like, because it's so new to us. And, I'm sorry for sounding so dumb because it's so new.
I've listened to you. You know what you're talking about.
So how do we, what's some creative ways for business owners and companies, artists? How creative can we be with NFTs that it can generate revenue to help us, get to that next level?
So, I mean, again, it comes down to that smart contract. You can write all kinds of really cool parameters into that smart contract. You can design an NFT that, say, changes with the weather or changes with any kind of data set. You can design it so, like, link it to this data, and it can alter either visually or sonically. So, I mean, that's like one use case. You could say, as a musical artist, you could bake in, like, if you buy this NFT, this will give you VIP access to all my shows infinitely. So yeah, you can get super creative with like the utility of an NFT. And again, like that's where it gets exciting. There are some experimental use cases out there, but this is so in its infancy, and that's what's so exciting about it.
Man, it is. Like a guy like Gary V. Wow, he started something called V Friends. And it's like an NFT world with these imaginary, emotional characters. What's the benefit of someone going to what Gary V's doing and buying some of those products? Is that something we should do? Is what your company will help us locate stuff that what Gary V is doing? How's it?
So, work? I mean, what we're designing is a system where the more you look around, like the more you explore, the more you rate assets. So instead of the Facebook or the Instagram thumbs up, thumbs down, we're designing basically a thermometer, hot, cold. Like, is this on fire or is this icy cold to me? So that gives us so many more data points than this simple binary thumbs up, thumbs down. So based on that, based on how much you want to learn about the artist, you start collecting points essentially, and you can use those points either towards the artist and their work, or in another, like, lots of other interesting ways. I think where it's interesting with, say, Gary V or CryptoPunks or Axie Infinity, like, those projects are all about community. And I think, like, if you build a cool community in the crypto space, like, it's transparent. Like, you want your community to be part of everything you do. And I mean, I don't really even want to bring this up, but DAOs, like, have you looked into decentralized autonomous organizations?
I haven't, to a point where I understand it. I don't understand it. I'm familiar with it, but I don't understand. But if you care to share, we got time.
I'll just top line it, because again, I feel like I could talk about this for a long time. But
we got time if you got it.
Basically, a DAO is a community run ecosystem. So it's no longer centralized. So the whole idea, and again, that's what we're building with NOWwhere. Like, we're not a DAO right out of the gate, but maybe in the future we will become a Now DAO where the community actually is leading the company and part of the decision-making process of like how it evolves and how it grows. So like I've worked for big studios, the Warner Brothers, the Disneys.
And you're well respected, and I apologize. I want to make sure everybody understand how well respected you are in that world.
Okay,
like this guy is good at what he does. So him talking about this means a lot because you're creative. Like a lot of your work. I'm gonna pause for a minute. We're gonna pause for a minute. Let's look at some of Drew Lightfoot's work right quick. We're gonna just let you run through it. And this is his work. So I want you to understand how great this dude is. He's an award-winning director. He's worked with lots of wonderful projects, commercials on a national scale. So here it is.
Are you an ultratarian? If you're vegan, you right?
Oh dear.
You're as cold as death. What's happened to you? Your coat.
Victoria.
You clearly see something. That's what spiked my interest in interviewing you. I want to know why is Mr. Lightfoot so interested in an NFT world? Do you have a history? Go ahead.
No, just to finish my thought from before. Big studio, it's a centralized organization, just like a big bank is a centralized organization. Blockchain is decentralized. It's across servers all around the world. That's what we're building with NOWwhere. So we've kind of taken this Netflix model of we're a platform, but under that is a studio. And so the platform understands what people like, what people share, and they make content relevant to what's trending or what people want. So we're taking this Netflix style studio system, but it's decentralized. So we don't have an office. We're going to have artists we already have artists all over the world that can collaborate. So it's really this hub, and that is essentially answering your last question of like, why is this so interesting? Because I think there's so many cool opportunities for artists to like really have their work celebrated, but also for artists to collaborate. Because like I'm very much a visual artist. I'm not a musician. I have so much respect for musicians, sound engineers, because that's such a big part of filmmaking is the music. If I can like collaborate, and I've been able to collaborate with all these incredible musicians and composers around the world, but as a visual artist, I want to offer up those collaborations with musical artists. Okay. So again, that's where it gets really cool, and that's where it gets really exciting. It's not this, it's not this centralized studio. It's really going to become more of, like, I hate to say social platform, but that's really what it's.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It sounds like you're going to be the NFT version of social, so I guess NFT social. That's what it seems like, which is great. Which I think is great.
Like it comes back to that transparency. Like I really want to encourage conversation, collaboration, and innovation, because I think that's how innovation happens, is when you get more than one brain. Like obviously artists can be genius, but I think cooler things happen when they collaborate.
Yeah. So this is like, everybody is on the Drake versus Kanye West right now, who's trying to change the name to Ye. But this might be an opportunity for them to come together in the NFT world and actually compete in the NFT, make something huge. Like if they're going to do it big, you know what I mean? Like really do it.
And they certainly could. No, I mean, I think a lot of people have financial motivations behind their like interest in NFTs. Mine is more for like supporting and the financial interests of artists because, yeah, it's time, you know.
Man, I fully respect that about what you're doing, man. Thank you for doing something like that. So, what about those undiscovered artists who have, because if I'm an unknown today, right, and I've had some music that has done well, maybe in my local city, but it never left the city. But all of a sudden, I get that one hit record, and it makes everybody know my name. All of a sudden, all those original pieces, the NFT world, that's gold for that person.
Yeah, and again, like it's a global village. The crypto community is this global village, and so by all means, like get in touch. We're curating artists right now, but at a certain point, it will be more opened up where it's more of an automated system. Like right now, it's very much white glove service. Okay. So we're helping the artists with their promotion. We're kind of consulting them on the different drop styles. Because I mean, that's another thing. Like how you sell an NFT is a bit of an art form. Whether it's like open auction, closed auction, time-based auction, like there's all these different ways of selling an NFT. And trading an NFT.
Who are some of can you share anybody that you're actually going to be working with? Some of these some of these artists in terms of kicking this off?
Just yet. We have a roster of 10 out of the gate, but I mean, what's already happening even prior to our launching is, artists talk to each other. So we already have more artists at the gate ready to go. Our launch plan awesome. Is like we launch with a few and then subsequent release more and more and more. Like we're not going to just dump out of the gate, but no, it's super exciting. It's also, it's a ton of work because we really want to make sure it's right and it works right out of the gate.
Man, I look forward to seeing your creativity with this, man. I'm going to be definitely a fan. I look forward to it. I can't wait to see it. NFT is so new and it's so much out there about it that I still don't understand, but it keeps coming around. Visa bought an NFT the other day. And so it's making people go like, wait a minute. Okay.
This year it's been crazy. This year has been amazing for NFTs. And really it only takes a few big stories to raise some eyebrows and refocus some attention. And that's happened over and over and over this year. So cool. No, I mean, with the old school, like traditional auction houses, everybody is paying attention and watching very closely. So
with your skill set and being who you are, I'm sure everybody's trying to get in with you now to get ahead of this. At least I would think they would want to. Yeah. What has it been like for you with when they find out, that you're doing with this project and it's really like, I went through your stuff and I was like, man, he understands where this is going. Like, it looks like that you understand the real value for what NFT works for. And that's the artists, the people who make the art.
And I guess it goes back to my roots as being a storyteller. Like, I want to tell artists stories. And artists have some amazing stories to tell. And so, again, that's what keeps me up at night. It's like, oh my God, we gotta focus on this now.
Oh man, wow, man. But I hope you get to tell Drake's story, man. I'm a fan of Drake just because of.
We shall see,
man. Hey, I like to speak it into existence, man. That's why I put it out here, man. Because you're really good at what you do. Kudos to what you're working on. Listen, as this grows, I want to reach back out to you. I want to talk with you again and see what it is. If people want to get in contact with you, what do they need to do?
So NOWwhere.io is our main, that's our site. Obviously, you can link to socials from there. We're on Twitter, Discord. Those are our two big ones. yeah, so come to the site, check it out, and get in touch.
All right. Got to ask that important question we always ask. I want you to talk to someone who wants to be a future CEO, a future director, want to do their own films and movies. What advice do you have for them that you think will help them?
Just go do it. I mean, that's how you learn. You can study all you want. I mean, I think educating yourself is a huge asset, but I think you learn by failure and success far more than reading about other people's failure and success. So, I mean, that's been my motto my whole life, is just experiment and try things and see what works. And that's what keeps me so passionate, is I love to explore both like the world and art forms.
Ooh, man, I know the streaming world has made you be in demand. Okay, so you benefit from the competition of the Roku's and the AT&T TVs and the Netflix apps.
Sure.
What products do you happen to have coming out soon that we need to be looking out for, man?
So, I mean, what we're doing is we're kind of blending the physical and the digital world. So not all of our artists, but some of our artists, and especially out of the gate, like we have this time capsule of photography from the late 60s into mid 70s of all these incredible rock musicians.
Wow.
Before they were legends. So like Jimi Hendrix, Kinks, Led Zeppelin. So that's one of the artists that we're getting ready to launch with. But that's going to be photographic prints that you can hang on your wall that are also NFTs. So we'll have physical prints, digital prints, and then animated NFTs of those photo works. We're working with some painters. So again, it'll be like physical paintings that show up in the mail when you buy the one-of-one. Because again, like I still love that tangible art, but I want to be able to share that so not just one person can own that. If you've got a digital screen, like that's where you can show your digital version of that painting. So yeah, that's where it gets really cool.
Hey man, thank you for your time. I'm gonna put in a request personally, because if you ever get an opportunity to do some kind of film on Al Green, please do that for me, man. Awesome. I love that guy's story. Great. So and I love his music, man. Timeless music. Hey, thank you, Mr. Lightfoot. It's Drew Lightfoot, the CEO, co-founder.
My pleasure.
Of NOWwhere, man. It has been a pleasure to hang out with you. Thank you so much,
Likewise.
man. I wish you well on all that you do.
Thanks so much, Antonio.
And keep doing those great, amazing films, man, and those great, amazing productions.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
That's this edition of Conversation with a CEO. Remembering all you do, make sure you're learning something, because when you're learning, you're growing. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you die.